What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we have another Nationals interview with Jake, who got top 16 at U.S. Nationals with a Size Toad, Garbodor, Shaman deck, and of course, Size Toad has attack, Quake a Punch, which does 30 damage, and your opponent can play item cards from his or her hand, and you combine those with Garbodor, which shuts down all abilities when there's a tool attached to Garbodor, and your opponent's pretty much can't play any cards except their supporters. So you lock them out of trainers, you lock them out of the abilities, so they can mostly just play a supporter and attack for the turn, and attach energy, of course. Now you play 4 Crushing Hammers, you play Enhanced Hammer, you play 4 Trainer's Mail, we talk about a lot, and he really likes Super Scoop Ups, so that's why he played 4. But hopefully you enjoyed this interview, and thanks for watching. Right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we're doing a national sport, and what's your name?
Jake Jensen.
And we know that you play the Toad Garb deck, but how was your Swiss like?
Swiss was pretty straightforward. I played against a lot of Lando bats, Night March, and that was pretty easy. There was also a little bit of mirror match with, well, not mirror match, but just Toad Crobat, which most of it went through a breeze. Night March was a little bit rough, and so was the mirror match, but otherwise from that, it was just a basic Swiss.
Okay. And what was your record in Swiss?
I was 7-1-1.
Okay. Now, what was your loss to?
My losses was to Trevenant. I was not expecting Trevenant at all, and he would get first turn Wally, and he played Silent Lab too.
Uh,
So my shamans won't work either, and I couldn't do anything. So those are done for.
yeah. Now, did he play the Trevenant with Gengar or with Donphan?
He played it with Shaman.
With Shaman. Oh, okay. That's very interesting. Okay. All right. So, what was your tie to?
I tied last round because I was really tired, and I didn't find out till day 2 that it was Night March.
Oh, okay. Would
So I
you?
should have played that out.
Yeah, you probably would have won that one fairly easily.
Yeah.
Okay. So, going into day two, the night before, were you excited? Were you nervous?
Uh, I was pretty excited and nervous because didn't want to face Wailord. I heard there's a little bit of that in day 2. I don't think there was any in the Ruby, not too much at least,
Yeah.
that I could notice in the Ruby pool. So going into day 2, I just did not want to face Wailord period because that's not a loss.
Okay. So, what didn't happen in day two?
Day 2 was very straightforward again, like just really good matchups. Fighting, I love playing against fighting. People think fighting's a good matchup for Toad, or just a decent. I just find it as a really easy matchup.
Hmm.
They'll send up Halucha, and I can get the Laser Bank combo with the Muscle Band, so when it knock it out. And once they run out of Haluchas, it's basically just over, because they can't get to their energies anymore,
Okay.
usually. So I won all those fighting matchups. Um, but I did tie once to a Night March, surprisingly.
What happened there?
Uh, let's see. I won game 1, and game 2 just went really slowly. So we finally finished that. He won game 2, and then we went to game 3, and it just time. So that was not fun. But I know I only lost. Not sure. But I know I was one game away from making top 8, and I played
Hmm.
against. My last game. I need to win. If I won it, I'd be in top 8. And then my worst matchup ever, Manetric Rough Seas, I played against, and I got 2-0'd by that. So
Oh.
if I would have beat that, I would have made top 8, and I would have got my Worlds invite. So I got knocked out of both, which sucks.
Oh, okay. Man, that stinks. But still, I
Yeah,
mean, top 16 is very great. So congratulations.
thank you.
All right. So, why'd you decide to play the Toad Garbodor deck?
Well, I was thinking people were going to copy Canadian Nationals results, which is kind of what happened. I know there's going to be, since Canadian Nationals kind of determined what the meta was like,
Hmm.
I determined that there was going to be lots of bats, um, lots of metal, etc. And instead of using Crobat, I thought Garbodor would help with the metal matchup. It would help with the bat matchup a tad bit, but the Night March matchup would lack a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that Night March is a pretty decent matchup period anyways. So I felt like Garbodor was the correct play. for Toad variants.
Okay. Now, looking back at your list, would you make any changes to it after nationals, or do you think everything's pretty solid about it?
Probably a Shadow Triad. There was times where I really needed a laser late game.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise from that, Shadow Triad is still questionable. I still think the list is pretty solid. You want to go for pure consistency with this list. So opening up with Ultra Balls and stuff is kind of important, which is kind of why I might want to bump up Ultra Ball to 4 also, and cut a VS Seeker for it.
Okay.
But what you do with the deck is you have a really fast couple of turns, and then you slow down, Quaking Punch, set up Garbodor, etc., and usually win that way. It's pretty straightforward, I guess. But
Yeah.
otherwise from that, I really wouldn't change the list. It's very consistent.
Okay. Now, what was the idea behind the four Trainer's Mill? Because I really haven't seen a Toad deck even play Trainer's Mill.
Trainer's Mail is just a very consistent card. It helps you fetch everything. Since I didn't play a lot of ends, of course, it was very great for just grabbing supporters, grabbing super scoop ups, lasers, everything when you need them. It's super good. Trainer's Mail is very broken in this format since we
Mm-hmm.
play so much trainers. It's basically look at the top four. It's basically look at the top four of your deck and choose any card you want. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, true.
So in general, I feel like it's very good.
Okay. Now, you did play the two Shaman. At any moment, did you want a Jirachi and a Shaman, or was the two just fine by it is?
I never wanted a Jirachi ever.
Mm-hmm.
When you Shaman, you're almost. It's stupid to say it, but it's almost like you're guaranteed. You should either have a supporter when you have it, or when you're shamaning for 6, you should usually have a supporter when you draw a supporter. With the trainers mails, you always have supporters, so I guess that's kind of how I could do it. Trainers mail guarantees you supporter basically because you're going through your deck so fast with it, and I never really Jet drew at all because I had trainers mail.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, you did play only 3 water. Did you ever want more, just in case you do play like against a Cabalion on deck?
No, I think 3 was about perfect. Well, 4 would have been good, but there's no space. There's no space for 4. 3 is all you could really get with this deck. If you can make room for it, which in my opinion you really can't, go for it. But
Yeah.
3 is the perfect number for if. But you need the room. 4 is good. You just need the room for it.
Okay. Now, you did play the one Xerosic and one Cassius. Which one did you like more?
Xerosic was great. Taking off energy with Xerosic was the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, it was for the mirror match originally, but it really came down to getting strong energies off, ironically.
Okay. I actually see that. Now, what would you say is the deck's worst matchup?
I could have a tie. Could we do a tie? Two
Yeah, we
decks?
could do tie between 2 decks.
Uh, I'd say Manectric, Rough Seas, and Metal. Cabalion does too much work. You need to really start out. You need to go turn 1 energy pass with water, or if you go second, you still gotta catch a water and pass. Because you don't even want to bother putting down your DCEs when you're seeing Cabalion. It's just a waste of time.
Very true. Now, do you think there's any possible way of the Seismitoad deck to beat Wailord, besides like in top 8 or something? Because we saw that Jason obviously won, but it was because of time rules. So
Yeah, there is. You could tech a Bunnelby in if you really need to. The water works well with Bunnelby, but if you're not playing Bunnelby in your list, I honestly can't see it. To be honest, you're not hitting for enough damage. You need to be hitting for a consistent big damage of consistent amount of damage. That's very big,
hmm
and put pressure on them. And you can't be putting pressure while doing uh 90 between turns with whatever. When you're doing laser bang, quicking punch, you're not putting enough pressure.
yeah,
So you need to put a lot of pressure consistently, which Toad cannot do.
okay. Now, going into if you were to go to Worlds, would you tech in the Bunnelby, or do you think the Wailord's not going to be played at all?
I think some. It really depends. I don't have too much experience going to Worlds,
hmm
because it's only my second year of playing. But if you're expecting Willard, I'd play one. But in my opinion, I feel like it wouldn't be as big. It's kind of a gimmick deck. It was a good meta call at Nationals, but I think it was nothing else.
Yeah. All right. So with the removal of Lysander's trump card, do you still think that Crush and Hammer was like beneficial for the deck?
Yeah, Christian Hammer's always beneficial. Yes, you only get four, and I used to play like three, but you need to get every last ounce of hammers you need.
Hmm.
Removing energy is a big thing with Toad. You need to deny them from getting energy. What the ideal Toad thing is you remove energy and you end them in the card with no, you end them in the cards with no energy, and they can't attack, and you just keep punching and win the game. And if you have no way of removing the energy, I feel like honestly you just cannot do it unless you're relying on laser sleep flips, which is not safe.
Okay. Now, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
Let's see. Shoutouts to Michael Slutsky for hating me. Rithkey for being just the coolest dude around, and Brett Burns.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview, and once again, congratulations on making on top eight.
Okay, thank you.
All right, take care.